This is the most important video that you're going to watch or you've watched up until this time in your lifetime, because I'm going to give you some insights as to what's going to happen in the world. And as a result of that, I expect you to like this video so that Google knows that, or YouTube knows that you like this video and you subscribe to my channel and you want to learn about more of my videos so that this goes up in the algorithm so that more people learn what I'm about to tell you. I want to connect the dots of what's happened and what you've been exposed to over the last couple of months that you really don't understand. And let's start with the interview on 60 Minutes with the CEO of Google, where he basically said artificial intelligence is more important or will affect our world more than the invention of fire or electricity or the internal combustion engine totally combined. What did he mean by that? He meant that we are going to take all the data that we've collected over the last 40 years and make it available to you at exponential speed. How are we going to do that? Come over here to this dot. This is synthetic biology. It's DNA sequencing. What is DNA? DNA is the system on which our body runs. We are the most advanced computer in the world. We have more knowledge, we have more learning, we have more logic capabilities than any computer, and it's all stored on our DNA. I did a video yesterday where I explained to you that they are going to create synthetic DNA, and they are going to put it on an NVIDIA chip. And as a result of putting that DNA on the chip, it's going to be able to hold billions of molecules, much as it does in our body, but it's synthetic and such. It's going to take all the data that we've gathered over the last 40 years and condense it to a quantity equivalent to 2-gallon jugs of milk. That's right. All those farms, those data farms that are owned by Google, Amazon, Apple, Microsoft, that they have, where they're storing data, that data is going to come down into 2 milk jugs because of synthetic biology and DNA sequencing. Then we're going to let's go to machine learning. Then we're going to take all that data and let it learn from itself. And then we'll go to general intelligence, and that will take it to a capability beyond our understanding at this time. That's what the CEO was saying when he said this is more important than fire. Okay? So are you with me thus far? Okay, now let's go over here, down here to genome sequencing and genome editing. This all, again, is related to synthetic biology. They are going to go in and sequence your DNA such that they can use CRISPR, that's down here on the very bottom, and alter your DNA. So, in other words, because you are a Viking nature or descendant, you have a propensity for certain diseases, such as cancer, heart disease, because the Vikings ran all through the world, raped, pillaged, and plundered, and then brought all those diseases back to themselves, and you are the unlucky ones who, like I, who have inherited them. Now with genome sequence and genome editing, we will go into our bodies and take those propensities for those diseases out of our bodies, and thus we'll live longer. Okay? Are we coming together on that? So are you with me in there? Now I'm going to take you a leap somewhere else, and that's right there on my face. That's the one that says U.S. versus China. Because what is going to happen now is the country or societies that master this artificial intelligence, machine learning, synthetic biology, genome sequencing, and genome editing, they will become the superpower, okay? And so with our U.S. versus China, we have two different systems. We have a democracy, they have a communist system. They basically, in 2017, said to all their technology companies, come together, we will finance you so that we can dominate the United States and become the superpower by using artificial intelligence, machine learning, synthetic biology, genome editing, and genome sequencing. Okay? Are you with me thus far? So how do we then compete with their system of communism to democracy? Come down here on my body. It's hard to see. Morgan and Morgan. Do you know who Morgan and Morgan is? That's that law firm. They have more lawyers than anybody else in the world, and they come to you every night when you watch the national news, and they say, call us if you've been hit by a truck. Call us if you have a slip and fall in Walmart, and we'll take care of you. You don't even have to come see us. We will send you a DocuSign document. You will tell us what happened to you. We will go represent you, and then you will receive a check. Do you remember the days before Morgan and Morgan when you got hit by that truck? You went to your insurance company. Your insurance company negotiated with the truck's insurance company. In many cases, they were the same company, and you got at whatever they gave you. Well, Morgan and Morgan and the other lawyers that are in your community figured out that they could empower the people by using technology to come to the litigation front and get you a settlement. Now, at the same time, the judicial system, that's down there as well, the judicial system said, hey, that's fair. It is fair that if Kerry gets hit by a truck, that he has legal representation, and it's put before a court, and a decision is made. Now they don't even go to a court. The insurance companies just pay you the $1 million check. Morgan takes its 33%. You take your 66%. And that's where we are in the judicial system. Well, what the hell does that have to do with genome sequencing, genome editing, and synthetic biology? Well, let's go over here. Netlist versus Google. This is Chuck and Gail representing their patent infringements, where Google infringed upon their patents and in essence came and used their intellectual property for free for the last 10 years. Now, Samsung did a similar thing, and just last Friday, Netlist got a judgment for $303 million, and that was the turn of the tide. Are you tying this together? This is Morgan and Morgan. Now, Morgan and Morgan is not representing, but it's a change in the judicial system. That's in there as well. At the same time, a company by the name of Massimo is going against Apple for patent infringement, stealing their intellectual property. Now, what does that mean? That means that we are going to empower the small guy, the David versus Goliath, and we're going to empower them such that big tech can't steal our intellectual property that we've worked so hard for. Now we come back to China versus the United States. If they can empower us through the judicial system, that we have the ownership of the intellectual property that we create, you empower the people. Now you can compete with China, because now you're saying to big tech, you can't steal Kerry's invention that he created in his basement. And if you do, you're going to be punished, and you're going to have to enter into a royalty agreement, and you're going to have to give him his fair share. Morgan and Morgan. Morgan and Morgan for you and I, the technological inventors who are using artificial intelligence, machine learning, synthetic biology to create the world of the future, and which will then make U.S. beat China as the superpower. Is this all coming together? Are you connecting the dots? In there, I forgot to mention CRISPR. CRISPR is going to take the diseases out of our body. Now, let's put this to practical experience. And I want to recognize that Chuck and Gail from Netlist are the saviors of our society. So give them their due. They are enduring the wrath of Google to keep the U.S. as the superpower of the world, to keep us ahead of China. So give Chuck and Gail their due. Give them their praise that they are the ones. They are the David who is fighting Goliath right now, as is the CEO of Masamo. They are going to give me the ability to conquer and get my fair due. Let me give you a practical experience, and let me use myself as an example. I go to the best butcher store in Birmingham, Alabama, and I buy a piece of Kobe steak. It's going to cost me somewhere between $50 and $75 a pound. I bring it home. I take it down to my dock in the box, and I say, genome sequence this steak for me. I bring that genome sequencing back, and I break down the molecules within it and the protein within the sequencing, and I come to an understanding of what makes up that steak, what is inside there, and what has to happen. I then create an environment that tissue can grow. Okay, I take that steak, I put it in a petri dish, I create an environment where it will grow. Within 7 weeks, I will have a duplicate of that Kobe steak. It will taste the same because it is the same. I will have been able to create that steak in 7 weeks, as opposed to the cow, it took 7 years. Okay, I'll do it, and there'll be no methane gas into the society to create global warming from the cows farting. There'll be no cleanup of cow shit. It'll all happen in a petri dish. And I will go and I will put this little lab I've created next to the Whole Foods over off of Highway 280. And I will go into the butcher department at Whole Foods and say, hey, I'd like to sell you some Kobe steak. I know you're paying $45 a pound for where you're getting it now. I'll sell it to you for $22.50. It only costs me $7 to make it, okay? Because I'm making it in a petri dish. So what is the butcher going to do? He's going to say, hey, I got to get approval of Whole Foods. Well, who's Whole Foods? That's Amazon. So he's going to go to Amazon and he's going to say, hey, they've got Kobe steak. We've tried it. We've tasted it. We've tested it. It's as good as the real thing. And he can supply us everything we need. Now, if Chuck and Gail had not brought Google down, Amazon would have said, we'll just steal his patent and we'll take it. But because of Chuck and Gail's 10 years of fighting Google, they'll say, let's negotiate, Kerry. And can you put one of these labs adjacent to every one of our Whole Food stores? And I'll say, at a price I can, because I have the patent on this and I own it, and I'm not giving it to China, because I'm going to keep the United States as the best producer of Kobe steak. Okay? That's how you connect the dots. That's how you versus them, that's over here on the left-hand side, you versus them. So it is going to incentivize you and all your neighbors to go into your basement, to go into your garage and create something. Because you know, if you then go to ChatGPT or Bard and say, write me a patent that I can send to the patent office that will stand up in court, the friendly court, the Morgan and Morgan court now, because Morgan and Morgan will be on your TV screen and saying, hey, if somebody's infringed on your patent, send it to us. We'll represent you. We'll get you, because the legal environment will have changed, because the legislation will have recognized this is the only way we can compete with China to maintain our position as a superpower. That is where you're at. That is the dots you need to connect to understand where you need to invest. Am I saying invest in Morgan and Morgan? No, I'm saying invest. But right now, I'd go buy some Netflix stock, because that sucker, I know it's only at about $4.40 right now. But I just explained to you why it's going to go to over 100, because Google is going to have to pay, as is Samsung and as is Micron, who have stole their patent. And the atmosphere of acceptance that the big guy can beat up on the little guy, that Goliath can dominate David, is over. It's over, just like it's over when you get hit by a truck. You do not have to depend on your insurance company to represent you. You can go to Morgan & Morgan, and they'll represent you, and you'll never meet the attorney. That is what is changing in our world. And it's all being driven by artificial intelligence, machine learning, synthetic biology, you know. Okay? Look. I need you to do something for me. I need you to share this video with everybody you know. I need you to like it. I need you to subscribe. And then I need you to join our tribe. This is what I do. I am not good at a lot of things. In fact, there are probably some misspellings in here because I was not a good student. But damn it, I can connect the dots. And I don't think you've heard anything like this ever before, and probably won't until I get on the Joe Rogan show and explain to Joe he does not need to fear artificial intelligence and ChatGPT because it's going to change our world. It's as important as the cavemen discovering fire. I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. I'm a retired financial advisor. I got that CFP, a CHFC, and a CLU. I used to advise people how to keep more of what they make by astute estate planning. Now what I'm doing is connecting the dots so that you can reap the benefits of the fruits of the labors of the tech companies that are now going to pay you for your patents. Okay? Go to ChatGPT. Ask Bard or Chat to write you a patent that can be submitted to protect your intellectual property. Because this is where the big payoff is. When I sell my Kobe steaks to Whole Foods, I'm going to become a multi-billionaire, because Amazon and anybody who wants to sell the best steak in the world will have to share their profits with me. Okay, I'm Kerry Grinkmeyer. As I said, I'm here to help you make good financial decisions. I'm here to teach you how to keep more of what you make by understanding your tax code, and I'm here to help you create family wealth. If you want more of this, you go to the link that says the Discord, and you come to our Friday Stock Talk, and I'll talk this craziness directly to you, and you can ask questions. You can get that access for about $10 a month. But I'm building a website that's going to be even bigger and give you even more access to more knowledge, not only about investing, but the whole realm of financial planning. That's coming probably around the 1st of July. So I'll be talking to you regularly.